Ladies and gentlemen, politics is a very interesting game. Just a few days ago, on the 15th day of July 2023 to be precise, Moses Kuria, the Cabinet Secretary for Investment and Trade, made some interesting post on his official Twitter handle. This is what Moses Kuria posted on that day. So you wait for us to vote for him. Now you have forced him to a handshake. Tuache kwa mata. Over my dead body. That was Moses Kuria. By that time, there were reports that William Ruto and Raila Odinga were under a lot of pressure to have handshake. Moses Kuria was very clear that that handshake will only take place over his dead body. Then yesterday and the day before, news emerged that indeed William Ruto and Raila Odinga held some meeting in Mombasa. And then Moses Kuria, in his typical nature and the nature of politicians, made this tweet. This is what I'm trying to look for. On his official Twitter handle. Let me just get it. This is what Moses Kuria posted actually today. The resumption of bipartisan talks is good news for investment and the economy in general, which I agree with. And he's saying violence is not the way to resolve political differences. Again, I agree with him. It is time to pull together as a nation with a strong government and even a stronger opposition to keep us in check. Of course, that's also true. But now listen. To my bosses, William Ruto and Raila Odinga, you are on the right side of history. So basically, he's now calling Raila Odinga my boss for the first time in a very long time. This is a man he has been abusing for the longest time, and he's saying all Kenyans are behind you as long as we do not create another mongrel like Nusumkate confusion. So if you paid very close attention to what he's suggesting here, is that he's welcoming the idea of handshake, but not a kind of Nusumkate. Remember what Raila Odinga and Uhuru had were not Nusumkate. Nusumkate was the kind of coalition arrangement between Raila Odinga and Moi Kibaki. But I want us to look at why Moses Kuria has changed position. Because for those who've been following the politics, after Moses Kuria made that initial post about over his dead body, and after severally abusing Uhuru Kenyatta, the mother, and the rest, the United States Trade Representative Katharina Tai came into the country in her capacity as the representative for trade. She refused to meet Moses Kuria. Then after that, there were stories that Moses Kuria was actually banned from traveling to the US, I'm not so sure, and several other diplomats from the US, European Union, had actually blacklisted Moses Kuria. And there were also stories that William Ruto actually also lectured him over his tweets and the post he was making on Facebook. So it was surprising when Moses Kuria came out yesterday and made that kind of post on his official Twitter handle. Why do you think Moses Kuria changed his mind? In this video, that's exactly what I want us to look at. But before we do that, in case you're watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And without any further ado, let us dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think Moses Kuria has changed his position? For those who've been following this channel for a long time, I have always stated severally that in politics, we have two constants. The first constant in politics is normally the interest. As long as the interests of politicians can converge, they will always work together. Moses Kuria has realized that the handshake is going to happen, and therefore his interest will be served in the handshake. And because Raila Odinga will be part of that handshake, he must align himself to that handshake. And of course, the other constant in politics is normally the betrayal. And why do you think Moses Kuria has changed his mind? Number one, the reality of the handshake. You know, when it became apparent that William Ruto had actually met with Raila Odinga, most Kenyans were actually shocked. Because William Ruto was also very clear that he was not going to have any handshake with Raila Odinga. And of course, William Ruto was placed into the presidency by the British and the American government. So which means if that's what they want, there's no way William Ruto can refuse to meet Raila Odinga. So Moses Kuria has realized that however much I post, whatever I do, this thing is going to happen. And that's where my interest will be served. So I have to go there. So for me, he's doing that because of the reality of political handshake between Ruto and Raila, which will mean that Ruto and Raila will be forced by circumstances to work together. So Moses Kuria will have to fit in, and is doing it mapema ndio best. Number two, I also tend to think that Moses Kuria is trying to rebrand his social media pages using this window of opportunity which he has seen. The handshake is there. William Ruto and Raila Odinga likely to work together. Moses Kuria was the attack dog. Now this thing is going to happen. He's been, the US representative refused to meet him. We never know several other cases where he has been, where other leaders have actually declined to meet him. We don't know. But the fact is, Moses Kuria Facebook page, Twitter pages really does not reflect the position he's holding. In fact, the other day I was checking, was it Simbarati's Facebook page? And I was asking myself, if you go to Simbarati's Facebook page, what they post there, I think it is Simbarati, what they post there are basically what Arati is doing. What is doing. Yeah? You'll never find these other political activities. But for Moses Kuria, if you are to go to his Facebook page, like for example, you are a foreigner, you want to invest in Kenya, then you go to Google, you check who is the cabinet secretary responsible for trade in Kenya. Google will give you Moses Kuria. Then you say, okay, let me go to his Facebook page or Twitter handle to see what he's doing. If you are a stranger in Kenya, I mean, outside the republic, you'll be shocked. Because in most cases, Moses Kuria is even addressing his Facebook page using vernacular. He's now a minister. So I think he has identified an opportunity to try and rebrand, so that if someone were to go to Moses Kuria's Facebook page, you'll just find those meetings he's holding, now acknowledging Ruto, how violence is bad, all those kind of things. So he's trying to reinvent, to rebrand. Number three, I'm also certain that Moses Kuria, as a typical politician, is just trying to align himself with the current political situation in the Republic of Kenya. I was talking to one of my friends within the political circle, and we were just discussing the issue of Kanini Kega dumping Uhuru Kenyatta, because for me, I've never believed. The guy told me that Kanini Kega is now the typical politician, where your interest comes first, the rest comes later. And he explained to me that when Kanini Kega was with Uhuru Kenyatta, he was with Uhuru Kenyatta not because he loved Uhuru Kenyatta, but because Uhuru Kenyatta was the president, and that's where his interest was served. Then when he stuck with Azimio, he ensured that he secured the nomination to Iyala. And for that nomination to pass, it needed voting in parliament. So Kanini Kega, being a typical politician, had to sneak, and he sought for the help of Kenya Kwanza. Once he secured that, then he realized that for him, his interest will now be in Kenya Kwanza, because Kenya Kwanza is in government. Then he went. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that Moses Kuria, being a typical politician, is also just trying to realign himself with the current political situation in the Republic of Kenya, which is Raila Odinga likely to work with William Ruto if anything will go as per the plan. Number four, there has been this talk that William Ruto is planning to reshuffle his cabinet. That talk has been there. And that Moses Kuria is likely to be reshuffled. If not kicked out, he's going to be changed. But do you know why Moses Kuria was appointed to be the Minister for Trade? So as to serve the interest of the Kikuyu nation, the interest of those Nyamakema traders who are importing stuffs, the issue of Mtomba, all those things. That's why he was appointed there. And he wanted to use that to build his name within the Mount Kenya. So there was this rumor that reshuffling was coming. And then if this handshake will happen, then he's hoping that with the softening of his stand, because let's face it, Moses Kuria is a close friend of Raila Odinga. Someone in the know will tell you that Moses Kuria was even educated by Raila Odinga. He visits Raila Odinga, but that is the thing. He fears that he might be kicked out. And lastly, I'm sure Moses Kuria is using this post to address the international community. He's telling them that whatever was doing might not have been necessarily motivated by any other factor apart from our local politics. If you go to my page today, you'll find just me doing my stuff. So for me, it's addressing the international community. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Ladies and gentlemen, up to that stage, that's my take. Why do you think Moses Kuria is not changing his mind just a day later? Why? Why? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.